On today's show, NASA is giving you a way to experience what it might be like to hang around the surface of the sun.
Facebook is introducing its very own Facebook graveyard.
Oh,
yay.
Way to bring it dark. And Google is working with some interesting data trees with their brand new feature, Knowledge Graph. We're going to tell you all about it. I was really nerdy, so it's Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily. I am your co-host, Ashley Skella. Join me as always, Kale Anonymous.
It's our Valentine's Day episode.
Hey, it's Valentine. I wore my red sriracha shirt because love is hot.
It's technically our Valentine's Day episode
because it's the day 2
Friday
days
we
before
don't,
Valentine's
and then Saturday
Day.
we don't. So we didn't theme it in any way. So
I wore red.
As much as I just said is the all-inclusive amount of Valentine's Day there is in this episode. So.
Yeah. So
especially with this Facebook
welcome.
Graveyard thing. So let's.
Yeah, well, listen, you could gift somebody the gift of a legacy moderator as Valentine's. That would be so dark.
Yeah, that's about as good as giving them the key to your apartment.
That is true. All right, guys, let's hit the headlines. Okay, so I saw this and I thought it was so cool, and now I want to immediately book a flight to Maryland to go check this out. This is called Solarium, and it's from NASA. So NASA has had what is called the Solar Dynamics Observatory. It's been up in the sky for 5 years. It has been taking pictures about every second of the sun for the last 5 years.
Okay.
So they just released this video, and it's in super, super high definition. Like, the resolution on these pictures is insane. So this is, all those videos of like those beautiful high-res videos of the sun moving and all that other stuff that you've seen online over the past few years?
Sure.
Usually compiled from images from the SDO. So
amazing.
Yeah, so basically how it works is it keeps tabs on all the UV light that's coming out of the sun, snaps a picture, like I said, about once every second, and each picture is about 8 times the resolution of an HD TV. So it's like 8,000 pixels.
Wow.
Tall, which is pretty awesome.
Why aren't they comparing it to 4K? Anyway.
It's yeah. So the cool thing about this is the pictures are actually in black and white, and because the SDO records the images in binary code, and then they bring in the code, and then it can create these images, and then actual people, scientists at NASA, colorize the images.
Yeah.
And show us what different things look like. So they colorize there's like a whole color code based on like, if this is UV, then it would be this color, and if this is this, it would be this color. It's really, really interesting. Okay, so now that we've established the SDO, let's talk about Solarium. So Solarium is the exhibit that they're gonna be doing. This is a huge video art installation that allows you to stand in the middle of basically the sun erupting. Like,
look at that
it's
little
crazy.
girl.
This little girl's just like, whoa, that is what it's like to be on the face of. But check that out.
What do you mean stand in the middle?
So they have a full like 3-wall installation where you basically walk into the middle of it and then it encompasses you. It's not all the way around. It's not 360 degrees, but they have this whole exhibit where you're able to walk through it, and then there's like this huge video wall where you stand there and it'll show you all of these crazy, beautiful, high definition images like right in the sun. And I love all the pictures that they showed of this. 1 minute of footage for this is about 10 hours of work.
Wow.
To colorize and get all the data and create the image, all that stuff. So there's a lot of work that's gone into this. And so 2 different places where you can see it right now. It's on display at the NASA Goddard Visitor Center in Maryland as a permanent installation, so it'll just be there. And admission is free there. I found that out on the website, which is pretty cool. So if you live in the area, I highly recommend you go see this. And then it'll also be shown in Tucson, Arizona until May 17th as part of at the Center for Creative Photography. It's going to be a traveling installation.
Because there's nowhere hotter than Tucson, Arizona, and that's a fact.
And that's why
it's basically like the surface of the sun.
It is like the surface of the sun. So they're like, let's just put it there because people won't even know the difference. They'll come in from outside and be like, oh, it's just like being outside. I'm on the surface of the sun. Yay. But yeah, I just thought that was so cool that they were doing that. And I love those, whenever they have all of the different coronal mass ejections and stuff from the sun, I always like watching all those videos because they're so beautiful and fascinating to me that we can see the sun in that amount of detail.
Yeah,
it's just so cool.
It's terrifying.
It is a little bit
It's
terrifying.
beautifully terrifying. It's scare sighting.
It is. So speaking of scare sighting.
Okay.
It's a little weird.
So
we're going to bring it dark.
In a way, Facebook today has turned Facebook into kind of a cemetery. All right. So
like a nice mausoleum.
So previously, when someone passed away, there was no way to kind of curate what showed up on their Facebook. Well, now they're allowing the ability for a loved one to kind of take over your account after you pass and curate for you. This is called legacy contacts. And basically what happens is you get to select one person who will be able to post on your account, not as you, but as themselves. They can write
that's a relief.
memorial posts, and they can pin it to the top of your page, and basically just give you a nice place for all of your friends and family.
A nice digital send-off.
Yeah, to kind of leave their comments and whatnot. They can't access your private messages, but you can grant them permission to download and archive posts and photos and stuff like that. You can only pick one person, though, so choose wisely, because when you pass, that's going to be the person that's responsible for creating this
creating your content. And
I think this is great. I think it's cool.
It's something
scary,
we don't think
though.
about.
It's scary that Facebook is like, yep, people are going to have Facebooks and they're going to die.
Well, this has been an actual problem. So when people pass away, traditionally on Facebook, they were very adamant that no, our user privacy is paramount to us. And I just rolled my eyes if you were just listening to the show. But they said, no, our user privacy is very important to us, and we're not going to allow people into these accounts. If we find out they die, we lock the page and we turn it into a memorial page, which you can do. Like, you can submit to Facebook and say this person has passed away, and then I think you have to actually send in a death certificate to have it converted. Because here's the thing. You don't want some troll going over and be like, I heard Kale Anonymous died. Yeah, it's real terrible. You don't want that.
What do I care? Someone takes over my account.
Rest in peace, Kale.
It's not going to be any worse than it is now.
So, but that was one of the things that a lot of grieving sort of family members and friends would say is they're like, well, how can we even, if someone gets a friend request or how can we manage this page without, obviously we don't want to troll. We just really want to manage this page and we want to make this memorial or whatever. And so Facebook finally kind of caved in on this, which is really interesting. But I think it's one of these super fascinating areas of future tech that we don't consider is what happens to all of our social media profiles when we die, and what happens, what do you do with all that stuff? And now being able to delegate, you can actually will your profile information to people. If you put it in your will, Facebook will give you legacy control over that account. If you just will it, which is so weird and a little bit morbid. But the thing is, it's also something you just don't think about.
Man, you are super into this.
I really am. It's super fascinating.
Again, I thought it was very interesting, and it should be interesting to see what happens.
It's such an inevitable. I mean, obviously, not to be a downer.
It's definitely a step forward in how we approach this.
Deal with stuff. It's so weird.
It's really rocking your world.
Well, it's just these are part of your affairs now. These are things that you have to get in order. You're like, gosh, what am I going to do with my Twitter page? What am I going to do with my Twitter handle? Can you will your Twitter handle to somebody? It's just so weird.
I hate it, honestly. Because I think that ultimately the life you live and the people you know in person are the things that should matter. To kind of have that digital space be an important thing to you is a little unsettling. It's very important these days, but to me it's just kind of getting the initial out there, but having to worry about it that much is just so stressful.
Well, the other thing
I'm stressed out enough. I hope somebody likes my post.
I know, without having to worry about who am I going to put in charge of this thing if I suddenly die tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't want to worry about that. No. I don't want to go home and be like, well, better hope that people like my post when I'm done. Picture of Kale in a coffin, like. I'm just it's fine.
Your legacy creator could just be LOL, Kale's still gone. Lol, whatever. No, I find this really fascinating.
Yeah,
it is a little creepy, to think about, but the thing is it also is one of those future problems that we're now starting to have.
There's a certain amount of people you can't reach because there's a certain amount of people you can only reach because of the social networks. So there you go.
So super interesting.
All right.
Find that very fascinating.
You just love the dead. It's really all it is.
I do. It's so true. So I should have been like a medical examiner in a prior life or something. All right, I got to tell you about Knowledge Graph. So data is not necessarily the most exciting thing ever, but I found this to be really cool. So Google announced Knowledge Graph this week, and they have this video, and it's super interesting. And basically, Knowledge Graph is going to try to bring your searches into context. So and link a bunch of things together. So remember when we saw the galaxy for Wikipedia?
Yes.
Okay, kind of reminds me of that. So let's say So they're going to add this panel to the right side of your search that actually utilizes knowledge graph. So let's say you look up something that you're interested in, but maybe don't know a lot about like peripheral topics around it or people around it. So knowledge graph is going to help you find that information much, much easier, as opposed to continually typing in like, okay, so you type in like Da Vinci, and then it shows you a bunch of search results for Da Vinci and nothing else. And it might say like related searches like somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're going to get this panel on the right side of your Google search. It almost reminds me of a Wikipedia entry, which I think is a little bit clever, and also kind of, it's a little bit of an undermine on Wikipedia, but I think it's a really good idea they're doing this. So now, let's say you type in Leonardo da Vinci, you've never heard of any other Renaissance painter, you have no idea what you're looking for. Now it'll say, here's all these paintings by Leonardo da Vinci. Here's other Renaissance artists.
They already have this with like movies and whatnot.
Yes, and so
actors,
now,
and like when you have an actor, it's like, here are the movies,
like IMDb-ish.
here are the related.
Right.
Yeah, so now the news is that they're doing it with
they're
artists.
expanding this. Well, they're just expanding it for, it's called knowledge graph. So it's going to be
That's
everything.
cool.
So
I
they're
like
even, so they're working with, the thing that I found really interesting was if you look up like measles, for example, it's like been a big thing here in the news, like in California, because it's at Disneyland. If you look up measles, on the right-hand side in that panel, it'll tell you like symptoms and what it is and blah, 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 but it's all double fact-checked by like places like the Mayo Clinic. So it's like very good, solid information. It's not just like, well, I'm not really sure I'm clicking here in this like list of links. So they're giving really good information that's actually been fact-checked by different organizations depending on the topic, which I find I think it's great. And I think it's much easier to search visually through something like Google.
Yeah.
And I think it's really smart of them, because the thing is like, sometimes you type in a search phrase and you're just like, I don't even know what I'm looking for. Like sometimes I'll type in something and I need like either a visual reference or something to like give me that context. So I think this is really smart. And they're saying, for me, I think this might actually change the way that we search, like that we use search engines, because instead of just giving you, text and links, it's
they already
visual.
like I said, they already have this for actors
like,
and stuff like that.
People, notable
people. It just creates that rabbit hole that you fall into.
It's a search rabbit hole,
yeah,
just like YouTube.
Like with Wikipedia. So.
And, yeah, Wikipedia and YouTube. So they're trying to do that now with search, which I think is really interesting and also very smart on Google's part. It's kind of a good move forward for them in terms of search engine. Mm-hmm. So, all right, guys, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with a round of Into It, because it is Thursday, and then also we have your user feedback. You guys came up with some really good user feedback about those sheep, and we also have our photographer of the day. So don't click away. It's Tomorrow Daily. Welcome back to the show. It's finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. Kale Anonymous has consumed too much sugar.
It wasn't that much.
It was like
it
a
was too
bucket.
much. The surge. You remember I had the surge on this episode and drank
I feel
one
like
whole
that
surge?
wasn't even as much sugar as that iced coffee that you have.
Oh, good. I
Yeah.
feel like a little kid that ate too much candy. So what are we doing now?
Well, it's Thursday, which means we have to tell everybody all the cool stuff that we like, which means it's time for Into It. Kale, what are you into this
Okay,
week?
so I actually do like to find something and then get obsessed with it and then move on to something else. Okay, so I actually have never really listened to podcasts.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to start at the top, work my way down.
Gotcha.
I'll start with Serial. And so I'm into the Nerdist podcast. I know this is nothing new, but I'm really glad I waited this long to get into it.
It's new to you. It's new to
Yeah,
you.
I'm really glad I waited to get into it. I'm only talking about the audio podcast on iTunes, and I'm only talking about the interviews.
Okay.
Like, because what this has caused me to do is look at this wall of like all these people and find out, hey, who really inspires me? Who would I like to know some stuff? And so Gabe Newell, I just listened to Metallica this morning during my workout, which is
very
super
nice.
interesting. Yeah, it's great to listen to Guillermo del Toro the day before.
That was a good one.
Yeah, so it's really cool to kind of like get some insight into, because we're in this industry, into how people think, and everybody has a different path. That's always what's crazy. yeah, it's really interesting to me, and I'll probably move on to something else very soon. But yeah, it's been super entertaining. Bide your time very well. And I know nobody's new to podcasts, but if you haven't listened to Nerdist podcast in a while,
try it
it's
out.
cool to just go back and see if there's anything that interests you. So
that's one thing I really like about the Nerdist podcast and other podcasts as well, is that they're very evergreen. Like, you can just go back and listen to, and it's not super timely or otherwise like, oh, you got to listen to it this week, otherwise you're going to miss out. Like, you can go back like years and be like, oh, hey, like, I really like that director. I really
although
like this person.
some of them they're evergreen, but there's one I listened to, Kevin Feige. And he was talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. They had just started filming it, and he's like, "I really think people are gonna like it. I really think it's gonna do okay. Like we're scared.
See, I like
but,
that,
but we
though.
think it's gonna do okay." And then he's like, "We're just worried that like if we make this and it fails, we'll not get to do another one." And I'm just like, "This is great. You don't know. It's gonna be so good."
You're like, I live in the future, and I'm gonna tell you it works.
But it's really cool. It's also great that Hardwick lets them talk.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know,
always nice.
Usually anybody that hosts a podcast, they're like, well, I'm the host. I'm going to talk so much.
That's what I do
just like
every day
let
on
them.
this
Just the information is what's important. So anyway, that's what I'm really into. And then
That is
next
a good
week
into.
And probably next week I won't be listening to podcasts anymore.
Ever
We'll see.
again. Yeah, you're just gonna be done with it.
So what are you into?
So PlayStation Plus has a few free games this month, and among them is this game called Apathy that I've been playing. It is awesome, and it's not a 10 out of 10. It's a little indie game.
okay.
There's some control issues like here and there, like sometimes, but it looks like you are on a Grecian urn. Like the entire game has this beautiful 2D Grecian painting. Like it just looks so awesome. And you pick up, it's kind of like an action RPG. You can pick up different weapons that are all kind of appropriate for the time frame that this takes place in. You have to go up to Mount Olympus and fight the gods and all this stuff.
That is a beautiful looking game.
It is gorgeous, and it's actually pretty intuitive. It's pretty straightforward. It's fun. I've just been having a really good time playing it, and it was free because I have PlayStation Plus. So I was just yeah, awesome. I was really jazzed about that. I didn't have to pay for it. So, I pay for my PlayStation Plus, but yeah, it's so good, and there's so many different weird little mechanics. There's you can throw stuff like javelins, and you can craft. They even have crafting. He's fighting the gods right now. These are really big gods that you're fighting, and you go up to Mount Olympus. It is really, really cool. And so that's Apathy, and I've just been having a really great time playing that, and it is really beautiful.
Yeah. I love those
stunning.
indie games, you know.
I do too.
They have a chance to try out some new stuff, you know.
Yeah, something that you would never see in a
Beautifully
full length
stylized.
20, 50-hour game. This is the perfect sort of indie game. Is exactly what's cool about indie gaming. It's really neat. So Apathy it's on PlayStation 4. You can get it on I think you get it on Steam as well.
Oh,
so it's available for
there we go.
PC as well. So if you're so inclined, you can
PC
check that
Master
out.
Race,
But
all right.
I grabbed it because of the whole PlayStation Plus thing. It was free. So, all right, guys, it is now time, and I'm very excited to say this for your user feedback. Oh, you guys,
knew it.
with this TD Sheep
I knew
hashtag, we asked you guys to say what you could do with animals and technology, and you really just came up with some great stuff. You're going to make our robot walk off the thing? Because he will. He'll walk right off the ledge, and he sparks. So Edwin wrote into us and said, small cameras on migratory birds. They fly all over the world. Combine all that imagery for more up-to-date Google Maps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, make
I
the
like the
birds
idea
do
of
the work.
Google Sky.
Yeah.
Google, instead of Google Earth, I do a Google,
Yeah.
Google Air. Rick wrote into us and said, add some wearable tech on the tags connected with Apple Health Kit. Healthy sheep's a good night's sleep. I like that. And then this is going to be your favorite. Goat plays Goat Simulator. That was from Mark.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Goat plays Goat
get
Simulator.
in there.
And then Jesus wrote in and said, we need to be careful about tech and animals because before you know it, cows with guns. And then he sent in this video.
Does he have a picture of a cow with a gun?
Oh, here you go.
Whoa! They don't even care.
Those cows look furious. They mean business.
That's cool that he sent in a video.
But yeah, I sent in a video, and it was really funny. He's like, we can't give tech to animals.
But then all we have to do is wait till they're asleep and tip them over.
Yeah, that's true. We just wait till they're napping, and then we just knock them over. But yeah, so that's what you guys wrote in for TD Sheep. No hashtag of the day today because two things. One, we have President's Day on Monday, so there's no show. There won't be a show on Monday.
Yeah.
And then
Gonna hang out with the
and then on
presidents.
Tuesday we're actually pre-taping that show today. So full disclosure, we'll get more into that, but just as an FYI.
So we're gonna be wearing the same underwear.
Yes.
Yuck.
Just FYI, that's
Yuck.
just no. I brought extra.
We'll be wearing it all weekend.
I brought extra, just so you know.
in the
Caleb did
virtual
not.
sense, we will be wearing it Friday, Saturday,
Sunday,
Monday,
Monday, and then all the way into Tuesday. Ugh, gross.
All right. Let's
Settle
get
in,
there.
Kale. Settle in. That robot has come to life. I'm terrified.
Nobody's expecting that.
All right, guys, time for our photographer of the day. So Guillermo wrote into us, not Del Toro.
That would be amazing. I'm making Pacific Rim 4.
I know.
You skipped 2 and 3.
Skip 2 and 3. Don't care. I'm Guillermo Del Toro. I can do what I want. Guillermo says, hi, Ashley, Kale, and producer Logan.
Oh.
I just wanted you guys to know how San Jose looks before that Indominus Rex from Isla Nublar gets here. What a shame. So there you go. That's San Jose. I took this with my old iPhone 4S at La Sabana Metropolitan Park while having a running session. Love the show.
Yeah, run sesh. Do you listen to us while you run?
Maybe it looks like he's running on the water. He like has like some sort of water skis that allow you to, some sort of water things that allow you to run on the water.
If you run fast enough, you can run on water.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. So yeah, I'm assuming you're jogging on a lake, which, great job. You must be a really fast runner.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Very nice.
Looks really, really
Yeah,
good.
cool.
And I'm so sorry that it's going to probably get destroyed when Jurassic World comes out this summer.
Well, you know, that life finds a way.
As you do, you know, as one dino does, as they say. All right, guys, if you want to submit your photography to be considered on the show, you can email us tomorrow at cnet.com. You can always send us over your any user feedback, tips, story ideas, whatever.
Anything.
Anything. Just send us anything.
Cooking recipes.
Cooking, I will also take that. If you want to find us on social media because you hate email, we got that covered. We're on Snapchat, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of Tomorrow Daily, and then we're also on Google Plus at Tomorrow Daily TV.
There's got to be one we're not on. Feels like we're on everything.
We're not on Pinterest.
Yeah, we don't have any like cool cakes to show you. Anyway, also if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a little comment, maybe a smiley face. Who knows? Frowny face, whatever you want. I don't care.
Whatever.
And if you're listening to the podcast, hello everybody. And don't forget to rate and review. C. Nanners is here. That's why I did hello everybody.
Oh, perfect. And if you want to share the show with anybody, you can just send them to tomorrowdaily.com. It's the easiest way to find us. And if you want to find us on social media as individual people and not as a show, you can find me at Ashley Esqueda.
And I'm Kanye West. No,
Exactly.
I'm at Kel Anonymous.
And that is it for today's show. We will be back on Tuesday. Don't forget it's a holiday on Monday. So have a great weekend. Be good humans, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.